Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Kansas City Bucket List Podcast. I am Mindy, your host, and I am thrilled today to have one of my favorite people that I've met here, Dani Welniak. She is the Vice President of Communications for the Kansas City Current, and she and I have a really energetic and passionate discussion about all things soccer in this incredible city that we have. We talk about the history in the making that the Kansas City Current have had in the city, in the industry that is quite literally spreading across the world in terms of what they are doing to impact women's soccer and sports. We talk about, of course, the World Cup coming here this summer. We talk about how the Netherlands chose their training complex as their base camp, which is huge. And we talk about the incredible experience that you, your family, your kids, everybody can have at a Kansas City Current game. If you know, you know, and if you haven't been, you have to go. This is a really, really fun conversation about a topic that we're all so intrigued and excited about right now. So thank you for tuning in and listening, and I hope you enjoy. Well, thank you for coming on to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. This is such a blessing, and I always enjoy everything that you do and how you just uplift this community, and you really put a spotlight on people who are important and making a difference. So I don't even feel like I deserve to be in those conversations.
Oh my gosh, stop.
Thank you. I'm so excited to chat with you today.
No, and I'm honored to have you here. And I was actually thinking before you came in, I'm like, your energy and your positivity and your smile and everything, it's like in person, over text, over email, you just feel it from you, and like how much you love what you're doing with KC Current. Of course, that's what we're going to be talking about today, in case we didn't make that clear right off the bat. But this is huge. Like the timing right now to talk about everything happening with KC Current, World Cup, all the things that you guys have been doing, quite literally continent to continent. We're going to get into all of it.
Yes.
And so let's hear first, though, who you are, what you're doing.
Hi, I am Dani Welniak. I'm the Vice President of Communications for the Kansas City Current. I made the transition to the team about a little over 4 years ago, from being the sports director over at KCTV5 and doing some sideline work with the Chiefs radio network. And it came at the most perfect time in my life and my husband's life because we had recently had a daughter. And she was about 1 year old. And what better opportunity than being able to be a role model and change the next generation of female athletes than now. And what Angie and Chris Long and the Mahomes are doing here in Kansas City as the ownership group for the Kansas City Current, man, I bought in from the start and was blown away. And so it's just, again, such a blessing to be a part of everything that's happened. And yes, I am Captain ! So you will see that in my emails and my text messages.
That is me too.
Any conversations with me.
If I get a text message from a friend without an exclamation point or emoji, I am that person that I'm like, are we okay?
What did I do wrong? Is this good? Okay, cool. Are we still friends?
No, but my husband and I, we have two girls too. So living in Kansas City with all of this happening is such a blessing for us too, to be able to be a part of that. And I sometimes wonder if we were still living in Chicago and we were watching this happening from afar, we obviously wouldn't feel the magnitude of it in the same way as we feel it here. But I am blown away by what has happened in such a short period of time. And as I told you, I was doing all of my homework on you before you came in. I was looking at pictures of your family with your daughter who's like at the signing, of like the breaking ground or whatever of the stadium and stuff. And I'm just like, what an incredible opportunity for her to be that up close and personal with what's happening. Watch, she'll probably grow up to be like a dancer or artist or something, which is fabulous, of course. So, yes. Nothing wrong with that.
No.
But she has this front row seat to everything that's happening. And oh my gosh, I have so many questions for you because I didn't even know that you were a professional football player yourself, by the way.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to get into that too.
I did wear my Super Bowl ring, so I feel a little bit underprepared. My apologies. But yeah, I would love to chat about that background and just that's the reason why I feel so passionate about being able to do that for my daughter and for your daughters and for again, the next generation of athletes, but also it's so much bigger than that too, in that you're providing this platform and an opportunity to talk about female empowerment in women's sports, but also women in primarily male-dominated fields and breaking into jobs, careers, opportunities that we may not have had before as women. And I talk to people all the time about how like I can see in this moment in time just the difference of generations, like where my grandma didn't have the opportunity or even a thought to play sports at the collegiate level,
not even
let
remotely
alone the
a
professional
possibility.
level.
Right.
And then my mom, who like Title IX happened and everything started rolling, and there was obviously still the struggle, but again, professional, not even in the cards. To my generation, who's like, we get to see all of this firsthand as it's happening, but we still have a long way to go. And hopefully our daughters now get to see a stadium built for women and training facilities and get to know nothing other than that being the standard. So,
the norm,
it's pretty
and
cool.
to be clear, that is the first stadium that was built dedicated to professional women's sports
in the world.
In the world.
Which is crazy that it's happening right here in our own backyard.
Yeah.
Now, the fact that it took until 2024 for something like that to happen kind of
like
blows
a whole
my
other
mind.
story.
Whole other story there. But I just think that we are the standard. And I think, you go to work every day and you think, hey, I am changing the world. But you don't really realize it until you have the conversations with reporters or people in Brazil who are, fighting for those opportunities. Or we had someone come over from Japan, and they were talking about how they saw this, witnessed it, and wanted to take it back to,
oh my gosh,
to their home. And
huge.
You
couldn't get any farther.
The global scale, right?
Yeah.
Like that what we're doing here in Kansas City is it's so close to us, such the proximity of it happening in our own backyard. But it is literally changing the world.
Can you tell us a little bit about, obviously I know Brittany Mahomes was a part of it because she was here, or they moved here because of the Chiefs, clearly. But can you give us a little background of Chris and Angie Long, and how did Kansas City, just by luck, become the first destination for this to kind of be happening and setting forth this example? What's kind of the background?
There's no such
there?
thing as luck. Look, I am a firm believer in that.
Great.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
But I think taking it back to when Angie and Chris Long were over in France for the 2019 World Cup, their daughter was over there playing, and they saw flashes into power and light in the World Cup broadcasts. And so as they're overseas watching from afar the power and the passion of Kansas City for women's sports and showing up and it being, again, something that is on a global scale, they thought to themselves, if that's how Kansas City is showing up for the national team, we know that we have an opportunity in Kansas City to make women's sports something special and to bring women's sports back. And so
it was literally like light bulb moment for them, the two of them.
Yeah. So and they came back, and it was, a little less than, I think, 130 days before they came back. They purchased the rights to the team that was in Utah to bring it back to Kansas City in 2020. Okay. And then got it from purchase to pitch so fast.
I was going to say, we were talking about that before.
Crazy.
I mean, it does. It almost seems like, did this just happen overnight? Yeah, obviously no. But
obviously no. But there was a process there. But it did happen fast, and that's how we do at the Kansas City Current. I mean, they have a vision, they have a passion, and then they put it into action, and that's how we got the team here, which I think is really cool. And then we're growing over the past, I guess, 5 seasons, 5 or 6 seasons now. And you just see how far it's come. It's crazy. But again, it's only been a few seasons.
And was Brittany in on it from the beginning? Because I don't think a lot of people know. I mean, in Kansas City, they probably do, but I don't know that a lot of people know her background in soccer.
Yeah. So she was a professional soccer player over in Iceland, I believe.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just want to make sure I got
I'm
my
saying
facts
that like
right.
I know her. But
Right,
yes,
yeah,
I know from
totally.
my homework.
Absolutely. As I'm throwing that out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she is one of the co-founders, co-owners, and the idea obviously was spawned with Angie and Chris Long coming back and bringing that here. And when Brittany heard about it, she wanted to be a part of it. And so she reached out to Angie and Chris, and she's like, look, I have a background in soccer. I'm really passionate about this. And now you've also seen, her husband get on board as well, which I think
Little
is
guy
really
named Patrick.
cool. Yeah, just him. And so you've seen just the passion and the power that the 4 of them bring to this. And I think it's really cool also to be able to say that it's just the 4 of them. So there's a lot of other, organizations that have lots of different owners, lots of different investors. And for the Kansas City Current, it's really these 4 who are so passionate about what we're doing here.
So from your perspective, obviously, my family has been to see a game. Thank you to you, by the way. You were the first one that I met several years ago.
Yeah.
And obviously the stadium is beautiful. We could talk about that for a long time. what are you guys today most proud of in terms of what KC Current is doing or has done? I mean, how do you wrap that up in a bow to be like, okay, here we are in 2026. Yeah. Huge things have already happened in the beginning of the year. Huge things coming this year. World Cup, we'll get into that. But how do you kind of communicate, quite literally, what this has done?
I think simply like two things. It's that everything that we're doing here in Kansas City with the Kansas City Current is historic.
Yeah.
A lot of it is things that have never been done before. We're doing for the very first time, which there's a lot of pressure with that too.
Sure.
Because you are setting the standard, which is my point number 2. People are watching and countries are taking note of what's happening here. Organizations, other sports teams. So when you have at least in our, world, other PR teams reach out and say, how are you doing this? We just talked about, Brazil and Japan and Australia and now Denmark. You have this global reach that is impacting everyone, not only in women's sports, but also just in sports in general.
Yeah.
And so I think for us, it's just how we're setting the standard, how we're being the blueprint, and we love being the first. We take great pride in that, but we don't want to be the last, because if you're the last, then you haven't passed the baton on and you're not doing what you intended to do for the generations to come.
Does that mean that there are other stadiums in the works?
There are.
Okay.
Yes. Actually, most notably, the Denver Summit is building their stadium in the NWSL. We've talked with outlets over in Europe, in the UK, that Brighton will be building their own stadium. So there's at least 2 out there for now with the vision and the expectation of there being more.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about the players, because you and I had talked before about the importance of the storytelling of the players. I personally don't know how it works when players, kind of move in and out of the team and everything, but watching your social media and seeing the personalities of the players, whether they've been here for, a few seasons or whether they're brand new this season, it is so fun. How do you go about, I'm sure it's a team effort, but how do you go about showcasing who these individuals are, who these women are, and to ensure that you're telling their story in a way that really it has this infectious, obviously, effect when you're watching it?
Yeah. I mean, we're the storytellers of the club, right?
Yeah.
So in the communications department, this is our passion project.
Yeah.
It's amazing just to see how it's evolved and how personalities and even the star factor have evolved in the NWSL over the past few years. And even just on the Kansas City Current. I mean, look, you've got the back-to-back MVP and Golden Boot winner in Temwa Chawinga, who's incredibly electric and just someone that you fall in love with because she has that fun personality, but she's also absolutely going to destroy you on the pitch. So good
Watch
luck
out.
keeping up with her. She will zoom right by you. But then you've also got personalities on there like LaBonta, who is our Selly queen. And she is a riot. Is the epitome of Kansas City, though, right? So her being the leader and the captain and watching her and her just being herself, how do you not want to amplify that and tell that story? She's phenomenal. We have the new additions like Croy Bethune, who will be an amazing addition to an already powerful offense. And then Allie Sentinor, who's a U.S. Women's National Team star, Michelle Cooper as well. All of these different personalities, I am just scratching the surface because I didn't even talk about Lorena, who's the reigning goalkeeper of the year. So, and she has such a powerful presence in Brazil. And Dabinia. Gosh, I could just run down the whole
it does
roster.
go on and on.
Oh
it's how much time do we have to really recognize everybody?
Should I just talk about everyone and their stories?
Yeah.
Which makes my job so much easier too, because you have these players who are bought into the vision, who are excited about Kansas City, but also the impact that they're making on young women, girls, even boys, and families, not only in Kansas City, but also in their hometowns and where they come from.
Yeah. Okay. So for people who might not be familiar with women's professional soccer, the stadium, the season, can you give us kind of like an overview of what the season looks like, how many home games are here, what to experience at the stadium? It's gorgeous. I mean, it is stunning. I love that you guys have all the local food vendors that are there and everything. So talk about that for people who have not yet been and absolutely need to get out for the season.
100%. Yeah. So we start on March 14th and the season, because we're going to go to the championship this year, runs through November. So that is kind of wrap your head around that. Now, the World Cup break, we take off pretty much the entire month of June. But we have so many things going on with the Kansas City Current, including ancillary tournaments such as Teal Rising Cup, which we as an organization have spearheaded and have taken on, and we're really the first team in the NWSL to do so.
Yet again.
So, you know, I'm just going to say first all the time. You're going to get sick of me. I'm like a broken record with first and historic.
That's actually what I'll do with my content. It'll just be you saying first. That's what we'll do.
Awesome. I love that for us.
Yeah.
Just keep the tallies going.
Right.
But so from that to the regular season matches to CPKC Stadium being an experience that isn't just about soccer. It's so much bigger than that. Like, we have James Beard Award-winning restaurant partners, and that experience from the culinary side of things is phenomenal. Even our press box, our reporters get the best world-class treatment. And so that's a fun piece of it. We have some amazing like decor that is a nod to a lot of the history of women's sports. We have
that's
a
right.
Title
Don't you have
IX
like an
wall.
area that maybe has like some names? Maybe
Yeah, we have
there.
the 85ers wall.
Yeah, that's it.
Which we brought in most of the team. I think only 2 players didn't make it for the opener in 2024. But to bring them in and really give them the nod that this was built on their shoulders.
Yeah.
Like, couldn't do this without the foundation that a lot of those women's teams laid.
Yeah.
And so that's such a phenomenal piece of it. The inclusivity and accessibility, like we have mothers' rooms and sensory rooms, and we have adult changing tables, and everything that we have built in the stadium. I say we, the vision of the ownership group, trickle down, right?
Yeah.
Is made so that it is an exceptional experience for everyone. The entire, even back to the culinary experience. It's a peanut-free stadium, and it has gluten-free options. And so it's just a powerful like nod to thinking about all of the little things.
Yeah.
And I know I'm just scratching the surface there because there's so much more to it as well. That when you come, you get the best of Kansas City in one place. And that's what our ownership group wanted to get across, was that you can come to Kansas City and you can experience all of it, and you can have to go, all across the city, which is fun. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But if you come down to CPKC Stadium, you get it all in one place. And so you can feel like if you've been there, you've been the best that Kansas City has
I was going to say, back to your point about like the James Beard Award. So we've got Rye, the owners of Rye that are there, right, to that point. But I was thinking, like, even if you're not into soccer, go for the foodie experience. You could do like a progressive crawl around the stadium. I couldn't rattle off all the places that are there. I'm sure you can't either. But like, I feel like you could do like a little tasting at all these different, food vendors that are around the city for people who are the local foodies. So.
100%. Yeah, we've got Joe's Barbecue out there too.
Yeah,
so like, if you need your barbecue fix, you've got that. You've got Billy's Grocery. Like, you've got so many different options that just make it such a different experience. Now, can you also get your popcorn and like your hot dog? Of course, but like,
wouldn't overlook that.
Of course, you've got to have those options. For, for your fans. But then you also have something that's so different in your restaurant partners.
So you have season ticket holders.
Yes,
and then you can just buy general admission. How does that work?
So there is,
or is it standing room, or what is that?
We have standing room, but you have, I wouldn't call it necessarily general admission, but like you can purchase single game tickets.
Single game tickets,
yes.
Thank you.
So there you go. There's your fancy verbiage of the day.
Yeah.
But so we have our season ticket member base is just absolutely phenomenal and incredible. And we sold out of it within, hours.
I remember that.
When we opened it up in 2024. And so to be the first stadium, the first NWSL team to have sold out your home stadium for every regular season home match in back-to-back seasons is just a testament to what Kansas City does and how we show up.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, one, I would imagine, did you expect that, right? Like you probably hoped for the best, but weren't sure that that was going to happen. And then it did. Were you, I mean, what do you chalk that up to? You know, I feel like it goes back to like, nobody loves Kansas City as much as Kansas Cityans do. Like, how does that happen?
Yeah.
That's
and
huge.
I think it's a funny question because as we're planning for this and as we're rolling out the stadium, we expected that as an organization.
Okay, good.
Because of the passion of our fan base.
Yeah.
To your point, like Kansas City loves Kansas City sports. Like I joke because in Kansas City, we don't really have like mountains to climb and we don't really have like ocean to go surf or like hang out at. Yeah. We have our sports and we take such pride in being the loudest stadium in the NFL. We take such pride in, you know, even like Allen Fieldhouse, and CPKC Stadium has become that in the NWSL because of our passionate fans and supporters. And they show up, and we went from opening in 2024 with people in, you know, just like their Kansas City like fan outfits, like whatever you would wear to like, you know, maybe a Chiefs game or a Royals game or a sporting game, to now it is a sea of teal. And fans are wearing KC Current stuff out and about, and I just can't wait until I see it on like television at some other sporting event.
Yeah.
So
well, and then you see it. I have my scarf on obviously right now, and I brought my sweatshirt. That actually, you know what? I got that sweatshirt at Charlie Hustle, but Jason Sudeikis had it, and I would see him wear it when he was like accepting an award for like an Emmy or something, and he had his and he couldn't go. I think it was a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I saw him wearing it. I was like, I want that sweatshirt. So I love that he was wearing the teal, by the way. And then he's obviously a huge fan.
Yes.
That's the other thing. Like you've got a lot of celebrities kind of backing, you know, their fandom for KC Current.
And he's one of our most avid supporters, which I think is so fun.
Yeah.
And the tradition that we've built with like the KC Baby Chant to open up matches and have celebrities who have some kind of Kansas City tie come back and really be a part of that, I think is really powerful. And it's really cool because it does like they help us and hopefully like we help them recognize like the power of women's sports.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know that there are many other cities that have the likes of Sudeikis and Paul Rudd and Heidi and Eric Stone Street and Rob Riggle and everybody like shouting from the rooftops how amazing Kansas City is and how much they love their hometown.
Yeah.
You know, they do so much. And I don't know if I'm just like not aware of people who are famous from Portland, Oregon doing the same thing, but I certainly have only seen it here. And I mean, it's just so fun to live here.
And it's so
see that happening.
It is. It's so different because we feel like when you leave, you need to come back or you want to give back to the community that really like embraces you. And like everything that we do, I feel like is for each other. And it's very much that Midwest mentality and vibe of like, wow, we are all growing together and we're all in this together, which I think is so rare.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, if you haven't been here, you don't get it. And so when they do come, such as, you know, the World Cup committee, when they come, they actually see it, man, it's life-changing.
Yeah. You're not from here.
I'm from Dallas, so don't hold that against me. I'm so sorry to everybody listening.
Do not worry. I'm not from here originally either. Okay. I'm originally from Tulsa, but we moved here from Chicago. But I just bring that up because you were brought here as well.
Yep.
For work, I assume.
Yes.
Did you notice it right away? The Kansas City, you know, kind of like the love for Kansas City. Did you like what year did you move here?
So I moved here with my husband in 2016.
Okay.
So I started my journey. I went to Oklahoma State. Mm-hmm. Started my journey in Dodge City, Kansas, way western Kansas. And I joke with people that I got the two best things in my life out of that because I got my first job. And I met my husband.
Okay.
So we moved into Wichita, second job, and then Kansas City was my third job opportunity. And we have absolutely fallen in love with it. Yeah. And I think I knew it from the beginning because of the transition throughout just like the state of Kansas and over to Missouri and being able to experience the sports in Kansas City, even from afar.
Yeah.
It's just so different and it's so fun. And so, I mean, I was bought in from the get-go. Like growing up a Dallas Cowboys fan, like that's part of your blood.
Still a fan? still your number one?
I have to.
Okay,
I have
it's
to.
fine.
You know,
It's all
like
right.
I know way more about the Chiefs than I know about the Dallas
Yeah.
Cowboys right now. But
Yeah.
it's like my whole family's like, you must wear the silver.
Yeah,
like, silver
it's ingrained
blue.
in you.
It's ingrained.
Yeah.
So.
But your first job was what here? It was with
So it was with KCTV5.
KCTV5
Yep, and I was
as
a weekend sports anchor.
There you go.
Yes.
So you've always had kind of that knack for sports and,
Oh my
and
gosh.
working in that.
So passionate about sports.
Yeah.
Super passionate about women's sports. I actually really wanted to be the crocodile hunter growing up. So I wanted
Great.
to go into marine biology.
Oh my gosh, so did I. After seeing the movie Free Willy, I literally just told this story to my daughter the other day.
Did you want to work at SeaWorld? Was
Yes.
that- yes. I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
And then I went to KU, and last I checked, they don't have a good marine biology program. So, you know.
Again, with the whole landlocked thing, you know, that kind of poses a small
Right.
problem. But the trajectory was awesome because going from that to still wanting to be in like some kind of television, like as you can tell, my personality very much
Yeah, it's perfect.
veers towards that. And I was recruited to play women's professional football in Dallas when
Yes,
I
I wanna hear
graduated
about
high
this.
school. And so had a friend's cousin actually come out to our powder puff game our senior year in high school. And that's how they had to recruit, was just like powder puff games in high school
Sure.
or like pickup basketball games, because you don't have women who play professional football or like even like the helmets, pads, gridiron style football.
Right.
And so I went and I fell in love with it, and my mom was insanely supportive.
Oh, good.
And so ended up doing that as a wide receiver. And
Were you 18?
yeah, I was a baby.
Oh my gosh.
I was a baby. And so did that for 5 seasons and 4 years. Was blessed enough to be a part of a Super Bowl winning team. I was Rookie of the Year
No
in
big deal.
2007. Yeah, it's fine.
Congrats to you. It's
And was
huge.
part of the first team to actually win a gold medal and play internationally in Sweden. And
my
so
gosh.
it was just such an incredible experience. And that opened the door for my passion for football. And that was what kind of led me on the trajectory to start covering high school sports and do whatever I could to just be around football and sports in general. And then when I got up here to Kansas City, having a conversation with the executive producer, Dan Israel of the Chiefs Radio Network, just a few months into my time being here, it was just such a perfect fit. And I was just so passionate about it. And so that background made me passionate about women's sports, made me passionate about football. And without both of those, I'm not here in this seat in front of you today.
Is that how you ended up working for the Chiefs?
So yes.
Okay.
So funny enough, I was into the job just a couple months, and I was up at training camp, and Dan Israel came up to me and said, "Hey, like we're looking for somebody who can be our sideline reporter on the road. Do you think you'd have some time to like talk it over coffee, like with like a female voice?" And I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's go chat.
Yeah.
So we went to a Starbucks and kind of had a conversation about my background and about what exactly they were looking for. And he said, "Can you draw a route tree?" And I said, "Oh, can I draw a route tree?" And I grabbed a Starbucks napkin and I wrote out a route tree and I gave it to him, and he was like, "All right, you're hired."
Yeah, and it
So-
always starts on a napkin.
It always
seemingly.
starts on a napkin, right? That's how all good stories start. So was hired from that point. Loved every second of it. Got blessed enough to be a part of like the whole Andy Reid era,
Yeah.
and Patrick Mahomes era, and early Super Bowl era part of it. And then, I'm a firm believer, like, again, nothing happens. Everything happens for a reason.
Right.
And so I'm a firm believer in my faith. I'm going to put that out there.
Great.
In that, like, God kicks you through doors. And
I'm with you.
This
Yeah.
was definitely one that he kicked me through for sure, because it set me up for meeting Angie and Chris Long.
Yeah.
As the sports director at KCTV5 and having a platform to be able to want to get women's sports on television.
Okay.
And so when KC NWSL at the time came back to Kansas City, I was really passionate about getting it on TV in some capacity, even if it was our sister station.
Were
And
you
so-
kind of the first one to be voicing that?
Yes.
I take it? Okay.
Yeah, and connected with Kathy Nelson, who was a huge advocate for it as well.
She's great.
And I was the only female sports director in the market at the time. And it was so cool because there were, kinks you had to work out, and there were some growing pains. But to be able to say that I had a platform to help that was amazing.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter whether it was football or football,
Football.
we did it.
Yep.
And that was my door and my introduction to the Longs. And now I guess it would have been like a year and a half later, when we had our conversation about this job opportunity. I was like, I cannot turn that down. Like, how incredible to be a part of something like this. So there you go. There's the whole backstory.
Yeah. And I mean, you have a clearly like shining example of your drive, your ambition, the way your trajectory of like where you started and where you are today. And you're not done, obviously. But
no, we're just getting started.
Yeah. I mean, you're VP of Communications for KC Current now. So tell us what you do for that role.
That is such a trick question because every day does not look the same. Like, it totally depends on what's going on. And we joke that we don't really have an off season because we are doing so much.
True.
So, like, in this role in particular and with the communications team, we get to oversee and be a part of everything, which I think is such a unique position in sports because you're part of the front office staff and the business side of things and telling those stories with partners, but you're also a part of the team and the technical staff and the coaches and everything that goes on the pitch. So we have, just the first team there. And then you just also happen to have your own stadium in CPKC Stadium. We're building Current Landing, which is the district, which is adjacent to it. Yep. We have the new Teal Rising Academy down in Brazil.
Yep. We have to talk about that.
Of course we do, because that's going to be fun and really cool. And I can't wait to see how that develops.
Yeah.
And then you have your Teal Rising Alliance. So we're trying to get the next generation and that professional pathway built up and built out for youth development. And we literally just ribbon cut on our new performance center and our new second team stadium in Riverside. And then, of course, Chris and Angie have HB Kerr over in Denmark. So there are a lot of things going on around the Kansas City Current right now.
Oh my gosh. I mean, this is like a team of just like gold star people who have the best vision and drive. Okay, so let's talk about Brazil. Tell us about that.
Yeah.
This just happened in the last several months. Is that
It was just
right?
within the last, within the last month.
Okay, so tell us what it is and what the kind of inspiration behind it was.
Yeah, it's part of the bigger picture vision for the Kansas City Current as a club is to build out this professional player development pathway. Okay. And most NWSL teams don't have it. It's very nuanced and new to the women's sports world. And so getting the opportunity to be the first NWSL team to have an academy and a presence in Brazil, again, very powerful. And we have Debinha on our team, who is very influential and setting the standard for young women in Brazil coming up through soccer, as well as Lorena, our goalkeeper. So having those players, knowing what it looks like to have to kind of change the norm for women in Brazil and come up through their pathway without like a true development pathway, I think was very inspirational for the Current and the vision. And so that just came to fruition within the last, year and a half. But development's been a big priority for the club. And so whether that's in Brazil, whether that's in Kansas City, whether that's over in Europe, like the opportunities are endless for women's sports. It's just having the vision and the belief that you can just do it. And I know that's very much taking a Nike verbiage there, Nike slogan.
It resonates though.
But it does, because that's literally what we do.
Yeah.
Is we just do it. And so Ryan Dell, who's our general manager, is incredibly passionate about this project. And he and Angie actually went down to Brazil to make the announcement and to kind of kick off this opportunity for like U17s and U15s to have a place to really develop.
Why Brazil?
I think the origin story probably comes from the passion that we've seen around our Brazilian players. And I go back to my piece of the puzzle in that we have such an avid Portuguese speaking following. And
love it.
For our broadcasts, we have Portuguese speaking options on our app. And so we have Spanish and Portuguese. And the origin of that came from our players' families wanting to listen and not having the opportunity to watch the games here in the United States. And so I think knowing and seeing what Debinha's brought to the table and what Lorena, and even like over the past few years, we've had Lauren and we've had Bia Zanarat, and like those players are just such a shining example of international players coming to the U.S. They are incredibly successful. They are a staple of the team. And I think, like, I can't completely speak to Angie and Chris's vision for why exactly Brazil.
Sure.
But I do know that, at least from the pieces that I've seen, it's primarily because it's going to be a great place for youth development, especially for women, as the World Cup comes to Brazil. And then also because of the staple that our Portuguese-speaking and Brazilian players have been, and
that makes total sense.
will likely become.
So we don't do anything from afar with that. That's really the leadership, the ownership team saying we want to play a part in giving these girls the opportunity to learn, develop wherever they end up. Across the world.
Absolutely.
Okay, but it's just got the KC Current name and belief and support and training and everything behind it.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Okay.
And it's going to be something that's really cool to see, because there's a whole lot of other pieces that go into that, but the opportunity for players to develop there, whether that's, actual players from Brazil, or if it's players from across the world, they can come in and they can develop there and have the best world-class facilities, amenities, resources, coaching, and then hopefully that gives them the opportunity to come play for the Kansas City Current.
Yeah. Okay, so we haven't talked about Chris Armas.
Yes, our new head coach.
Let's talk about him. I want to hear more about him, his background, what he's bringing to the team.
I have enjoyed every second that I've interacted with him. He brings such vibrance and excitement, and he's now a professional soccer Hall of Famer recently. And so just the past few, I guess we were there for 3 weeks in California, seeing him just get ingrained and kind of establish like his principles with the team has been really fun to watch. He is bringing two things that I think are really important to kind of just like get out there and let people know. A little sneak peek into the season. Number one is finding joy in everything that they do. And like that fits right into like how we operate as the Kansas City Current, and our players who just like enjoy celebrating or enjoy scoring. Like it is so fun to see even the new players come in and just like everything they do, they're laughing, they're enjoying the moment, like even in the hard times. And like, being on the road for 3 weeks is tough. Like,
I can imagine.
It's a long time to be away from home. But like just enjoying each other, I think is really cool. And it's such a trickle down effect. And then the other piece of it is we have such an incredible scoring and offensive like attack. His philosophy is everything that we do is to score goals. Okay. So the goal is to score lots of goals.
Many.
No pun intended. And to just like really amplify the talented players that we have. You've got Temwa, you've got Michelle Cooper, you've got now Croy Bethune. And so being able to be entertaining and have relentless attacking soccer on that pitch at CPKC Stadium, I mean, it's already been a blast to watch this team, having been NWSL Shield winners last year, and also setting, I think, every record except for like one. Just like rookie minutes played was the only one we didn't set in the league, which is amazing and crazy. Yeah,
go for it.
So, it's fine. So I think that we're going to see a lot of excitement, and I just think like he brings a piece to the puzzle that is going to make this team just even better.
What do you guys have coming up? The Teal
Rising Cup /week?
Yes. Okay. Let's talk about the Teal Rising Cup.
Yes.
Is that what it is? Did I get that name right?
That was beautiful. Yeah. Teal Rising Cup. Everything is Teal Rising. So like, let's go. Teal all the time, everywhere.
Okay.
But this is a tournament that we've put together. Last year was the first year that we did it. And we brought in Corinthians and we brought in Palmeiras. Last year we brought in Chicago. This year, we're going to bring in Club America, so a Mexican team. And so we're bringing in these international teams and inviting them to be a part of a world-oriented tournament. And a lot of NWSL teams don't do this because it is it's a lot. And so bringing in a lot of planning, a lot of organization, and also just like you're bringing in all these different cultures and styles of soccer play that make it exciting to watch and make it fun. It exposes not only our players but also our fans to different brands of soccer and different kinds of soccer. But I think more importantly, it gives these teams an opportunity to see what women's sports can be. Got it. Even though these are I mean, preeminent powerhouses in their respective countries, on their respective continents. You get to come to Kansas City and see what CPKC Stadium is. You get to see what the Kansas City Current brings to the table and how we operate. And it is one of the most fun tournaments that I've been a part of because A, it's ran so incredibly well.
Of course it is.
And B, just because you do get a chance to interact with cultures and styles of communication and styles of play that are so very different from what you're used to. And it breaks up the normalcy of the NWSL regular season.
Yeah.
And it's just so fun. And their fans are, look, Kansas City fans are super passionate.
Yeah.
And we love them so much. These fans from Corinthians and Palmeiras are a whole different level.
Game on.
Like,
okay.
They are extremely passionate and, dare I say, just a little bit crazy. But it is really cool to see also those fan bases make such the trip and make it like a whole week-long event for them.
By the way, can you talk about some of the like super fans that go to the games? Who's the guy that paints his face, has the beard, right? I feel like he's like one of the faces of fandom for KC Current.
So our supporter group, I have to give a shout out to Undertow and Blue Crew because they are phenomenal. And our capos are really like, they have been here from the beginning. They are passionate. They are powerful. They do such an incredible job of keeping the vibe going during the game. And we see that in the way the players play. The players have said like how much they're like their 12th man. And we have like a whole supporter section.
Awesome.
So that's amazing. And then, of course, Teal Man is front and center. Yeah. Right on the front, the glittery red beard and the whole teal painted body.
Incredible. Yeah.
It just makes the experience that much better. And I think it's really cool also to point out that, you know, having the male allies and the advocates for women's sports, I think truly speaks volumes to how far we've come. Now, do we have a long way to go? Yes.
Sure.
But I think that that is a good point to emphasize because we talk about how we do have the families and we do have the moms and the daughters and the granddaughters that come out, but also like the young boys that are running around in Temwa Chawinga jerseys and the dads who are like, I'm bringing the whole family out. Let's go check out some amazing soccer. And the grandpas who are like so excited about it too. Yeah. I think that that shows that you've moved from just becoming like this focal point of empowerment in women's sports to actually being something that has changed the perception of women's sports. And instead of just, you know, instead of turning on the TV and saying, I'm going to watch women's soccer today, or I'm going to watch women's basketball today, it's just like, I'm going to watch soccer today.
Right.
I'm going to watch basketball today. And that's what you watch rather than making the distinction between the two.
I love that. And you know, part of me wants to be like, well, you know, the movement in women's sports becoming exponentially more front and center is big part KC Current, right? With WNBA and everything else going on. Sure. But it is so exciting to see that happening. Like our 11-year-old has Caitlin Clark, a poster on her wall. Like remember back in the day, we put posters on our wall. So she has one. Because when she grows up, she says that she wants to be in the WNBA. And I'm like, amazing. I would love to be your momager in the WNBA. So we're going to manifest that.
I love that. I'm here for that.
Yep, I am here for that. Yeah. So I think that you know, huge advocate over here, of course, for all of that. I've got the Nike sweatshirt that says everyone's watching women's sports. And I wear it to like every volleyball tournament that we have right now with our daughter who's currently in club volleyball.
So good.
I will buy all the things to do that, you know, to make it loud and clear. But
you're such a good supportive mom. Let's go.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I am all for it. But I'm a very driven and passionate person myself, I think, both in life and like, you know, what I want to do. And I, of course, want to like instill that in our daughters as well. Yeah. The other thing I love about soccer is the international aspect of it. Like obsessed with, I always have been before KC Current, before I even moved here. I was always drawn to professional soccer because I feel like it just get like the experience of, I remember moving here and going to a sporting game. Okay. Friends had invited us. And I just remember feeling like I wasn't even in Kansas City. Okay. Like I felt like I was in Europe, you know, because you think of Europe when you think of professional sports or professional soccer, at least I do. And I just love the idea that this is kind of representing that to me, which is like bringing all these cultures from around the world together. Yeah. I think it's amazing, especially for where we are in the world today, and to show all the incredible cultures and people and the things we can do together, you know, different languages or whatever. It's fantastic.
It's so fun. And I think that's part of like what makes it so special and so unique too is that it is an international sport.
Yeah, I love hearing that Japan is looking to you guys. Like that gives me the chills.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And you don't really think about that when you're like watching a soccer match or a football match, or as you're, going into work every day trying to be the best football club in the world. Like, you are a part of something that's so much bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
And while like, you have like American pastime sports of baseball and things like that, soccer just brings something so different to the table, and the experience is so different. And we hope that at the Kansas City Current and CPKC Stadium, like, you get to feel that.
Yeah.
But you also feel like this is like your home and you are so welcome here. And this is something that is more than soccer.
Yeah.
It's a place that can be a community asset and can be where like you want to take your family on a Friday night.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about World Cup.
Yeah, let's go.
Can we kind of go back to, I don't know if there's an easy way to sum up, how did Kansas City get on the radar for however this happens to be chosen as a city? I mean, I'm sure that's a loaded
time do we have?
question.
I was going to
but
say,
I'm like,
where do we need to start?
How
here?
do we even, like, I just, because you guys have the Netherlands that chose your facility.
Yep.
So talk about that
Okay.
and what to expect with that. And how do we as fans, like, get to engage with this in any way, shape, or form?
First off, have you seen like the viral videos of their fan bases and like them wearing
Yes, I have.
orange and like
I have
I'm
seen
so
the one
excited,
where
I
there's
can't handle
like
it.
thousands of people in the street because it's their orange. Is it orange?
Yep.
Yeah, it's their account, and I think they invited you guys on in this talking about Instagram. And yes, I mean they're like moving to the side, right?
Yes.
And then they have like whatever heads or something are happening. But I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, it gives you the chills.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
And I just think it so resonates with like who we are.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's so detracting from like where the origin of that question became.
No,
So
I mean,
just gonna be like
we'll
all
take it
over the
wherever
place.
we want. Yeah.
Let's go. We can just do this.
We can
thing
talk about how the
bit.
Netherlands ended up choosing, Casey. So.
But yeah, the process has been in the works for quite some time now.
Yeah.
And shout out to Kathy Nelson and her team for spearheading this and making this even an opportunity for Kansas City. I think it's fascinating how we've gone from, being Kansas City and hoping that we have like a really big team here to now having 3 of the top, 20 teams
Yeah.
in the world in Kansas City. And we have 4 total teams in the Kansas City Metro.
Unreal.
Just unreal and phenomenal. But again, back to the point of like, Kansas City is really special. And once you get here and you see it, it's life-changing and it shifts your perspective. So with that being said, the Netherlands process has, again, been a process, but they loved it from the start. And they loved the University of Kansas Health System Training Facility, which is our KC Current training facility in Riverside, for a multitude of reasons. First off, that it's so centrally located, which is great.
Yeah.
Our training facility is not just built for women, it's built for world-class athletes. And so everything in there and how it's built is specifically designed for soccer players.
Yeah.
And so whether you're out on the world-class pitches, you literally come off onto the turf, you have a cafe right there, you have all of your weight training equipment, like everything that you need is right there. And so they loved that. They also loved the fact that it's built for staff. So the staff can be there with the team and it's all centrally like in one place and very easy and accessible. And then also like just Kansas City being the population and being secure and those opportunities super powerful.
Yeah.
I did think it was interesting. I just heard this the other day was that part of the Netherlands decision was because they are so passionate about their women's soccer. And so coming here and being able to be a part of this and seeing what we're doing here in the U.S. Might not have been a huge part of the decision, but it's still
Certainly
was a
part of
factor.
it. Yeah.
So
that makes sense. I love that.
They've been phenomenal to work with.
Yeah.
We're so excited to host them. I cannot wait to see how they do. Like we're just
Yeah.
gonna put the vibes out there that
Yep.
the Dutch go really far.
Yep.
And like they've been awesome. So being able to say that you have Argentina here, you have the Netherlands here, you have England here, Algeria at Rock Chalk is just like
Yeah, that's right.
it's so fun. It's so fun to be a part of, and I can't wait to see how it just like unfolds here in KC.
Is your husband a soccer fan?
So
he's a KU
sports
guy,
fan.
right?
He's a KU guy.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
And he loves all the things sports. So he's
Yeah.
an incredible supporter of myself and of my
Yeah.
career path. And what's even better is that if you would have told me like 6 or 7 years ago that my daughter would be a soccer player, I would have been like, okay, maybe. But she loves soccer, and he is like soccer dad #1,
Great.
and like
Yeah.
girl dad to a T. Like I love every second of it. They go out to the field.
She must love
train.
bring your daughter to work day.
Oh,
Although that's probably just every other day for her.
I was gonna say she just has to come with me to the stadium every once in a while. Like,
yeah.
I just took her to just over the previous summer with Premier League lacrosse coming into town.
Yeah.
We had ESPN out at the stadium, and they're there from like 6 a.m. until like midnight.
Sure.
And so I told my husband, I was like, she's coming to work with me today.
Yep.
Like, we're just going to run around the stadium. And sure enough, she did. So
She had the time of her life.
I hope that it's impactful and that she at least gets to see like a decent role model of her mom, working in sports, being a grinder, but also being exposed to things that I think a lot of other young kids don't.
For sure.
Yeah.
What are other things that we need to know about Netherlands, the other teams being here? Are you guys doing any additional events or activities? Or honestly, just FIFA in general? I want to know, what's your advice for people to take full advantage? I mean, I don't have tickets to a game. I have no idea how this even works. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm like, I wasn't a part of a draw or whatever it was. I don't know how much tickets are now, but for the general people that are out there wanting to know how they can engage with FIFA, what would you tell us to do and follow? And
less about engaging with FIFA and more so about engaging with the community and the things that are going on around here in Kansas City, because I think what people underestimate is just the power of how our fans will show up, even if it's not going to a game.
Okay.
And just how much the community is investing time, effort, energy, blood, sweat, and tears to making sure that the fans who come in internationally for these teams have a really good time and experience the best of KC, but also that we want our local fans, people who just love soccer or who just love like being in an environment that
the energy of it happening in their hometown.
It's in your backyard, right?
Yeah.
So I know that we're planning to take advantage of that. We'll probably have some sort of watch parties down at the current landing when our district opens. And so like that piece of it, like just pay attention to what the local teams are doing. Pay attention to what especially the Kansas City Current are doing.
Obviously.
Because we want to make that such an experience that, to my point before, we want to go past soccer. It's not just about soccer. It's about the experience. It's about our fans. It's about creating a world-class environment that people can say, like, we were a part of or you were there when.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned the landing. What is happening with that? What can we expect? You guys are obviously involved in the plans for all of this. Like, 100%. Is it just literally, is it connected to the stadium? Like, I have not been down there recently. So talk to me about that and what we can get excited about.
So it's literally right next to the stadium.
Okay.
It's the first mixed-use district adjacent to a women's professional stadium, which, surprise, first.
First.
But it's really incredible, the trajectory of just how mixed-use districts and stadiums have become, like, the example, and what will, for us, it's going to change the riverfront.
Yeah.
And so to have a like culinary epicenter, we've unveiled a few of our chef partners or restaurants that are going to be coming down there. Chef Stefanelli, we have Revel that's going to be down there. Really excited about some of the other ones that will roll out too, because it just shows that these award-winning world-class chefs see Kansas City as a preeminent destination for that. And that we have foodies that will travel and really want to take part in something that, Kansas City hasn't had before.
Yep.
So I think that's a really cool piece of it. It's going to be a place that fans and people and Kansas Cityans can live, work, and play. Our town center is going to be activated all the time. We really want to host again, watch parties, not just for World Cup stuff, but also for current matches and for other big events that are going on. We want to have concerts down there. We want to have community festivals.
Fun. Is there going to be? Would that mean that there's a stage, some sort of entertainment?
There is an area for that in our town square. So between that and the plaza and just creating a space where there's restaurants, there's bars, there's retail. So fans can come down there early before a KC Current match.
Excited.
Do some stuff.
Yeah. Make a whole day out of it.
Yeah, exactly. And then stay afterwards if they want to go, get a bite to eat for dinner, or depending on what time the match is, you could just spend all day out there.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's something that Kansas City should be ready for, because it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Did you say how many home games are in a season? Did I miss that?
No, we have 16 teams in the NWSL. So I think like with Teal Rising Cup, and we're going to have some CONCACAF games this year because we qualified for that.
All right.
So I think we have 32 games just from the regular season perspective. And then we'll have obviously 2 Teal Rising Cup matches, CONCACAF dependent, and then, 2 playoff games and a championship. So
no shortage.
Let's go.
I was going to say, is there anything else we need to add that's happening in 2026? Because I feel like we could keep going. Did we miss anything?
Gosh, I just feel like there's always something happening at the Kansas City Current.
Yeah.
And I love it when Angie and Chris get to do media availability, and they'll drop the mic and they'll be like, just wait, we've got some surprises in store.
Yeah.
And you're like,
big storm coming.
Great. Big storm coming. The kits, we just released our kits, our new storm kits. So it's the first time in history that we'll have a third kit.
What's the storm kit?
So the storm kit is the third kit for the Kansas City Current. We have our teal kit, which has the map of Kansas City on it. And then we have our Heartland red kit, which is our primarily home kit. And then the storm kit will be it's called our storm color, but it's a like storm dark blue. And then it has these teal like vibes and like almost like, I want to say waves, but like almost like an electrical current kind of running through it. And it's so
When does that come
beautiful.
out?
Today.
Oh,
yeah.
Perfect timing.
I know, right?
Although this won't come out today.
This doesn't come out
But,
today.
yeah.
So it came out this week.
Okay.
It came out in February.
Just now. Yeah.
So really excited because it does provide something a little bit different for fans, and the team will wear it in select matches in 2026. So a lot of cool things coming down the pipe, and just my biggest thing is get out. Get your tickets, come support. Like, it's a blast.
No-brainer.
And also, like, merchandise. Buy your Teal stuff. Wear it around Kansas City.
I do have my pants on. These are Cherry Co.
Teal, though. Let's go.
So have you ever seen these?
No.
Okay. So Thela is
These
the
are
owner
fire.
behind Cherry Co. And she has, so I originally bought these in red, white, and black.
Okay.
She sells them at Made in KC.
Yeah.
And they're like the track pants. And no, they don't completely snap off. But I feel like this is really awkward.
That's half the fun.
I know, right? But then I saw that. I said, you have to make these in black because I love black. And she goes, we do actually. And then come to find out they have teal. And so I was like, bam. So, of course, I had to wear them today.
I'm on it. That will be
love
what I
these.
do next.
Yeah,
Thank
I know.
you.
And she
Appreciate it.
has the KC, what is it, like varsity Letterman kind of jacket too, which I love.
Yeah, I
need
definitely
to
have that. Yeah.
I was going to say, I need to add that to my collection.
For sure.
Real quickly, the meaning behind Current, for everybody who doesn't know,
Yeah.
where did KC Current come from?
Okay, so I'll shorten it. Basically, it represents the undercurrent of the Missouri River, and the Missouri River undercurrent flows at one of the fastest speeds in the U.S. And so,
Who knew?
I know, right?
Yeah.
So that's where the kind of origin story of Current came from, and I think it spotlights the intention to detail from Angie and Chris in that, like, they knew that their bigger picture vision was that they wanted to have a women's stadium at some point. They wanted it to be on the Missouri riverfront. They wanted to activate that area. And so as they were making all of these plans for the team, and as they were creating this bigger picture vision, like, the Current was a piece of that and a part of that. And I know like the color, the teal, was very intentional because of their daughter brought it up and mentioned how powerful and impactful and notable that color is. And so to dive into,
Props to her.
I know, right? So much more than like the teal color, the Heartland red, the storm blue. It's amazing to see just the origin story of this team, but also that even in the name, the Current, there was such passion and pride in Kansas City.
Yeah.
That the origin story literally is in and of itself.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Casey.
We're making waves, right? So.
Well, you got to be careful because there's San Diego waves.
Oh,
So,
shoot. Sorry. I take that back.
Yeah.
Edit that out. No.
No, but it's the power of the undercurrent.
Okay.
And the power of the current. So
Perfect.
it's pretty cool.
Good. Okay. We're going to get into just a couple of fun rapid fire questions here.
Ooh, let's go.
For you. But anything else that we haven't touched on that we want to talk about with Current World Cup, Brazil, Denmark, you name it?
great question. We've talked about a lot, but I also just like reinforce the fact that women's sports is a sustainable business model. And I go back to the story of Angie Long has told me multiple times, we're not in this for charity. We are in this to make money, and we believe in the product and the power of what the Kansas City Current is. And so I think sponsors, partners, anything that you can do as a business owner to support, to show up, to show out, even if it's as simple as getting tickets.
Yeah.
You should do it because it is something that not only is worth your while, but it's also something that is impacting and changing the world for generations to come.
Yeah.
And so I will
be a part of it.
Be a part of it for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
We here in Kansas City, the fans, like, we can't do it without you. And we hope that you feel the same way about the Kansas City Current, in that, like, you couldn't go about doing your daily life without us either.
Yeah.
And so just so grateful, so excited. And I hope that all of the fans definitely know that, like, the KC Current can't do this without you. And we look forward to just how much more we can impact not only Kansas City, but also the world.
No, and I love that. And I was just thinking too, you could not even articulate how much work you guys have done to make this a reality. So thanks to you guys. I mean, this is massive to be a part of it, whether you're in Kansas City or you're not. I mean, this is incredible for all of us, for females, for males, for kids, for elders, for everybody. I mean, this is huge, which makes me wonder, like, do you guys even think about 5-10 years from now? Is that a cliche question to ask?
It's not a cliche question, because we're always thinking it far ahead. Because you know that just how far women's sports has come in the past, 5 years since I've been here, and even longer, just the past decade, it's grown exponentially. And the numbers prove that, from both a broadcast standpoint and from an earned media standpoint, from a marketing standpoint, from a partnership dollar standpoint. But that's just happened in the past 5 years. So
that is wild
we can
to think about.
Only get excited and set our expectations and goals for the same exponential growth in the next, 5 years or a decade. Yeah.
Well, you guys have some incredible partners making amazing apparel and everything else too. Couldn't even possibly shout out all of them, but we'll do that somehow. So
let's go. Shout out Jocelyn Monroe. Let's go.
There we go. Okay. Let's do what is currently on your Kansas City bucket list. What do you want to check off your list?
That's such a great question, because my daughter has revised, like, what my bucket list looks like.
Okay.
Because like before,
a stage of life. Yeah.
Absolutely. But
shout out to Cam.
Shout out to Cameron. Let's go. Let's go. This was on my bucket list, was being on your podcast.
Thank you.
Can I just check that off now? Is that
I'll
good?
just pay you under the table right now. Yeah. Great.
Deal. Yes. Gosh.
You could do, what are some of the favorite things? What would you recommend to other parents with, because Cam is how old?
She's 5.
5.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are some of the things that you guys love to do or want to do?
Highly recommend, A, going to a Kansas City Current game.
Yep.
B, the rabbit hole is phenomenal.
I still haven't been.
What?
I know. Don't even start with me.
Oh my gosh, that was listed
it's like embarrassing that I haven't.
One of the top 100 places to go in the world alongside our stadium.
I know. I'm going to do it like this weekend.
You got to go.
Okay.
You got to go. It's amazing. And then the Kansas City Zoo is so, like, phenomenal. Like, we have season passes. And
love the zoo.
Could spend every day at the zoo.
Have you been to Jazoo yet?
No.
Do you know what it is?
Yes.
Okay,
it's an
you
event.
have to go.
Yes.
Every June.
Okay.
I sit on the restaurant committee.
Oh, okay.
A lot of foodie connections here.
Excellent.
So I help with bringing the restaurants in. But honestly, Jazoo is one of the most fun events to do. You get dressed up. They have a different theme every year. You walk around. They have like 5 different live entertainment stages of music.
Okay.
And so definitely add it to your list at some point.
I'm here for that. There you go. Jazzy's on my bucket list.
Okay, perfect. What are some of your favorite places to eat out in Kansas City?
Oh my
Local
gosh.
restaurants.
I love Minsky's.
Yeah.
Because I am a huge pizza fan. Like,
We
give
love
me
Minsky's
pizza
too.
every day, all the time.
Yeah.
And my daughter loves it too. So,
Yeah.
like, game on. So that's got to be my number one. But I also love, like, I've now experienced so many new restaurants because of our restaurant partners. So, like, Billy's Grocery is, like,
love Billy's Grocery.
fire. So good. And then, of course, you can't go wrong with Joe's.
Yeah. What do you get at Joe's?
The Z-Man. Come on.
Obviously. You have to.
Who doesn't, right?
I know. I feel like, do you know they have a t-shirt out there that you can buy with the Z-Man on it? So you might need to get that for you or your husband.
Okay. That's happening.
They sell it at Rally House.
That's for me. It's
for
on.
you.
Game on.
Okay. Who would you recommend to be on my podcast? Who should we hear from?
Oh my gosh. I am such an advocate for our president, Raven Jemison.
Okay.
She is a phenomenal leader.
Okay.
But more importantly, her background and coming from previously like the big four in men's sports and now taking over as a president of a women's professional organization. She is just like, I could listen to her speak all day.
Great.
So let's line her up for the next one.
Let's line her up for sure. Okay. Not being from Kansas City, are there any other aspects you want to shout out about what you love living here?
I love that it is such an incredible place to raise a family. Great. And coming here originally, I came for the sports. Like, I was like, let's go. The football, the baseball, the soccer, like, sign me up. But now I live not very far from Shawnee Mission Park. And the fact that there are outdoorsy options that you can go kayak or you can go bike or you can literally go to a playground that's not even like 5 minutes away, or there's like 10 playgrounds within walking distance.
That's a good point.
I just love raising her here. And I have heard so many other good, positive things about raising kids in Kansas City.
I can vouch for that.
Whether that's the Missouri side or the Kansas side. Like, shout out both sides. Yeah. And so I love the people, and I love raising Cameron here.
Shawnee Mission Park is great, although I will say do not do those paddle boats.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about? The ones that you like?
Yeah,
those are so hard. We did that a couple years ago, and I was like, kids, girls, husband, let's all do this. And everybody was
like a good
miserable. I'm like, yeah, do the kayak, do the sailboat, whatever. Don't do the paddle boat. Those things are like manual labor. So
okay,
anyway,
good. That's good to know.
Those.
We have our own kayaks, so we
good, perfect.
We just pop them in the back of the Jeep Gladiator and we roll.
Good to go. Okay, perfect. All right, where can people find KC Current or you? Follow you guys. Let us know.
Okay, kansascitycurrent.com is the best place, like the hub for everything that you need to know about the Kansas City Current. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Blue Sky, you name it. We're on it. We're doing the thing. And then I am just, good old at Dani Welniak, on Twitter. Yeah. So I try to be relatively active on there, but since I don't have to be like I was in news, it's like, every once in a while, like you get a little picture of Cam or like you get like me amplifying and talking about the cool things that the Kansas City Current are doing. So
people get to be a little envious from afar of the life that you're living with the KC Current. So
100%. Absolutely. Yes.
And shout out to the KC Current social team, whoever they are. They're doing amazing work. Yeah.
They're so good.
I would love to meet them because they're very creative and talented.
They're super creative. They're super talented. And man, you want to talk about grinders? Like that group works so hard and works just relentlessly.
Yeah, and they're clever. So good.
Smart and witty. I hope I could be half as witty as them. Maybe
I know.
Someday.
It does give me
my brain. I'm like, oh, that's so funny. I would have never thought of that.
Right? I know. That's the best. Well, this has been amazing.
Thank you.
I could talk to you for hours.
I know, right?
You're doing amazing things. Yeah.
Take this off.
We'll take it off record. We'll get together, get our girls together, whatever we want to do. But truly, I admire what you've done. Like, you're so accomplished. Being a part of that team is enviable. Like, you guys are doing amazing things. It gives me the chills, like I've said multiple times on the podcast, to know what KC Current is doing for women in the world. So huge props to the Longs and all of you guys. This is so fun. And we'll certainly get more people from the team in. So
yeah, please. And thank you. Like, again, my team is just so incredible. And like, I could not do what I do without them.
Yeah.
And having this opportunity at this point in time, like, I firmly believe that you in your position, me in my position, like, we were made for such a time as this.
Yeah.
And I hope that fans who are listening to this take some inspiration from that and recognize that, like, we are living in such an incredible moment in time.
Yep.
Soak it all in.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath and just enjoy it.
And cheers to an amazing year with Coach Chris.
Yeah.
Armis.
We're going to have so much fun. I'm so excited.
Whatever we call him.
So just, you know what? If he breaks out in some sellies, just fair warning, everybody. But no, it's going to be a really good time. I'm really excited.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for tuning in and finding inspiration in these incredible stories. If you love what you hear, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode, leave a rating, and share the show to help these Kansas City voices reach even more listeners.